This is the Everyday Hustle Show, where our number one priority is self-development.
Each week, we will dive into insightful topics that encourage you to push your thinking beyond average.
Smash that subscribe button and tune in every Sunday at 6 p.m.
Is this live? Good evening, everybody. Is this on?
Check, check, Chinese checkers. This is the 72nd recorded episode. Coming to you pre-recorded from Jesse's back yiggity yard.
You don't say.
This is episode 71. Christian is chiming in.
This is episode 71.
I knew you were fucking
This is
wrong.
episode 71, everybody.
I fucking knew you were wrong. Once again.
La Frontera means the border.
So we're sitting here.
As two Chicanos raised in America.
Emilio Zapata. We're sitting here next to the pool. The boys are smoking cigars. We got two dogs sitting here. Either you dogs want to say anything? Ivy? She sniffed a little bit. That's it. Choke? Yeah, they don't care. They don't fucking care about us.
All right, so we got a lot of exciting stuff going on in this episode.
We do?
Before we get started, just want to give a shout out to Danny and his team at G Squared Media for sponsoring the podcast. We appreciate your continued support. Check out the website, theeverydayhustleshow.com, which is completely designed by them. And we're going to be actually launching a new mailing list as well as a merch store on our website with two brand new shirt designs, a new logo for the podcast. Like we talked about last episode, sometimes you got to change things up. And we got inspired this week to do a little bit of change. And we're just excited to reinvigorate the process and keep bringing you guys valuable content to help you move forward in your life.
Touche, bud.
Not to mention, we just crossed over the 5,000 download mark.
Yo, 5Gs. Yeah, big. We got some big things in the works, and like you said, got fired up this week. Yeah, I mean, just to touch base on kind of where I'm at. This week has actually been really, really different for me. I put in my 2 weeks at work.
What? Dude, you're freaking homeless?
Monday I put my 2 weeks in. And Monday I also started my plant-based diet.
What?
So, yeah.
How long of a plant-based diet?
Just for the month of May. So I kind of got an early start because technically Monday was like April 29th or some shit like that. But yeah, I feel good, man. I've been eating a lot of beans and rice. I love it.
You're freaking brown, guys.
Dude, I love it. So it's been good, man. It's I feel not like shit every time I eat a meal, because I've been eating like crap to give context, pretty much for the past 2 months. Before this, I was eating donuts every day, at least one or two in the morning. And then...
What?
No, absolutely not.
What's wrong with you?
And then I was eating Chick-fil-A and pollo every night, so... And to say the least, I was not eating the cleanest. So it's definitely different. I mean, I haven't not eaten meat for more than a day in like forever. So it's a change. It's different, but yeah. So it's been crazy, man. I'm excited. This summer is going to be really hot. My new position is going to be very taxing on the body. So it's like a lot more physical labor. Hopefully just for the summer, and then get back to what I'm doing now, which is commercial. But yeah, so like Drew said, we're, a lot of things going on, and we got really excited when we saw the 5,000 download mark that we hit. So we got some stuff, new logo, new shirt designs coming out, and then the mailing list. So mailing list, just to give people more information.
Wait a minute. How do you say mailing?
Mailing list.
Is he saying that weird, or is it just me? Mailing.
Mailing list.
Mailing.
Hey, man, don't
Sounds
knock
like
my
a
accent,
Chinese
bro.
lady. Mailing.
What the... My mailing list, our mailing list. And so just to give people more information, we'll be putting, what we'll be putting in that is going to be like, updates for the podcast, stuff that's going on with the episode. And
yeah, like social media is great for promotion, but it's drowned out and it's controlled by the company. You don't really own it. So, I've been doing a lot of SEO work and some other things, and it's important to build your fan base and your audience not solely around social media. I mean, we have probably close to like 500 likes on Facebook or something like that, and we put a post up, and the reach is like a tenth of what we have. So the mailing list is going to be a good opportunity for anyone who wants to get a more in-depth look at the show, what we talk about. We'll put show notes out each week as we release an episode. We'll send out an email so that way you guys know that it's there. Obviously same schedule every Sunday 6 p.m. But this email list will give you coupon codes for merchandise, is how you can show support for the podcast. You'll get inside look at behind the scenes stuff, just some regular a little bit extra than you would normally get on social media. And social media is good, but it's not everything, and it's also hard to maintain a social media presence when everything gets so drowned out. There's so many podcasts and so much stuff online that I'm just like, I'm not even like, worried about posting on social media. Like I feel like if we post on social media or not, like our listener fan base count stays the same.
I've grown out of social media altogether in my life these days. The occasional post, I mean, I check it daily for, mindless pictures and jet skis
entertainment factor,
Yeah.
And that's not what this is about. This show is about improving yourself and providing value to the listener, and the weekly email will allow us to do that more in depth and share a little bit more with you guys than we would do on social media, and also more accountability for us to write a little bit about what we're talking about, because there's a lot of valuable stuff in our show, and I feel like if we wrote it too and sent some of it out, like little show notes, key highlights, bullet points about what we talked about, people might get more out of that, and it's another avenue for them to check out what we talked about in the show without actually having to listen to a 30-40 minute episode. Like, it's great to listen to it, but sometimes people don't have the time to do that.
Touche. They don't. So
I want to talk about something real quick. This week I had this is the first time this ever happened to me, and I did it on my own, and it was pretty it was eye-opening. We talk about knowing your worth, and we talk about how time is currency, and we talk about how there are certain things that you can and can't do in your life that are aligned with your goals, right? So I was working on another project, and I had told the person, hey, look, if we want to move forward with the project and to keep doing the project, that I have to raise my rate. I need more money because I can't be pulled away from my other businesses and my other projects right now to do this and I wasn't very passionate about it, So for me, the time was worth more than what I was charging, right? And I said, hey, the rate's going to go from this to this, and the person said, okay, thank you, I'll find another way to do it. And it's it's no harm, no offense, no bad feelings. I'm going to finish out the project with what was paid for and all that. But it's one of those things where it's like, I've never turned down work, and I'm sure you guys can relate to this, whether it's side jobs or even, things in your life that you say, like, I just can't do that because there isn't enough reward, I guess. I don't know, maybe not reward, but there isn't enough, just enough feeling behind it that it makes sense for me to continue to do it,
Yeah.
And I was thinking that right away they would say yes, because I know the value of what I do. And right away they said no. So it was like a really eye-opening thing for me to put that out there and to be confident in what I'm offering and know how much I've spent in gear and time and learning and what I'm offering. And for them to say no, it wasn't like a slap, but it was like, damn, I didn't expect, like, I thought maybe like, I'll get back to you, let me think about it, like maybe a little, negotiating, but it was just a straight no. So I don't know, I kind of want to get your guys' input on, time and money and, knowing your worth. And we've talked about it a lot, so we'll kind of segue into something else too, but kind of just want to, like, get y'all's take on it, because we're all doing multiple things. This isn't like we're not like one-trick ponies out here. We're not your average Joes. So we need to be selective about what we're doing, where we're putting our time and energy. And if someone doesn't agree with what you're asking for, then it's like, I wasn't going to bow down. you know. So just kind of want to, you know, hear what you guys think about that. And should I have just kept it? Especially because I guess for me, like, I'm in a financial place right now where I need money. So it was hard for me to do that, but I also need time. So I don't know.
It's tough, dude.
I want to know what you guys think.
I have, well, not exact. It's not that similar, but I've been, you know, I got that whole gig a couple years ago with the, whatchamacallit, the music thing. And when I got that whole thing, I was like, you know, it's a cool atmosphere to work, you know, and I was super fucking stoked about it. I remember back when, I think we probably talked about it on the podcast at the time, but I was like kind of battling with, you know, how do I go? Like, because I got this good career thing going that I'm putting a lot of time in, you know, the regular work week. And then I got this other thing that, you know, is only available when I set my hours. And because of my regular career, I can't set my hours except for like 2 days a week. And even some of those 2 days are kind of off limits based on the timing of whatever the job is. So lately, mostly because, and it's kind of opposite of yours, I've been in a financial position with my career to not really need that money. So it's kind of like I've been saying, like, there for a while they weren't really hitting me up, but now over the last 2-3 months again, they're starting to hit me up with stuff that I was jumping all over, you know, a year and a half ago. And I remember even a year and a half ago, like, some of the stuff I would even take a vacation day at work just because I wanted to do it, like, during the week. Semex never heard that. But, you know, I stopped doing that because I don't want to burn my vacation days working, number one. But so they've been offering me, and stuff that I did these same shifts before, where I'd go in there Sunday night at 10:30 and like tear down some musical that played all week, and I'd work till 2-3 in the morning, and then have to go to work at 7 in the morning that same night.
Yeah.
And it was kind of fucked up, but it's doable. But then I'm, you know, my regular job that is my livelihood, and I'm like fucking half dead, you know. So I've been turning stuff down like that. Like, they keep calling me for, hey, do you want to work Sunday? And even if it's not Sunday night, I'm like, at time is kind of more valuable to me than whatever money I'm going to make doing that, you know. But they offered me something next weekend, and I took it only because I had absolutely no other plans. And it's Slayer.
Yeah, I was about to say, it's Slayer.
And it's on a Saturday, and I don't work the following day. You know, I have nothing. The only thing I'm going to be missing is going jet ski.
I might actually be there too.
But you know, some of these, like the bigger name stuff, like, it's kind of hard to say no to. But I get it. You know, it's like, to me, almost, unless it's some circumstance where it's something I 100% will be like, fuck, I should have done that, I don't want to do it, because my time is like more valuable to me at this point than the money I'm going to make doing that.
Yeah.
You know, so I get it. It might be somewhat different reasoning as to how I'm coming upon that conclusion, you know, because for me, I probably, on the other side of it, if I was in a financial position where I really needed the money, I might do it. But then again, it's not to say that you should have, because those kind of gigs, they pay pretty good, you know, for the hours that you work. You know, it's very sparse. But so, dude, I completely get it. I don't think you made the wrong decision. And the only thing that doesn't apply in my position is I can't demand what I'm worth. And I bet you if this was something like that, like if I was doing freelance work in this line of work, because of me not needing, you know, my time being more valuable at that point, I guarantee I would be like, this is what I want, and if I'm not going to get that, I'm not going to be there, you know, because especially when your time is valuable, you know, your cost is going to go up, not to mention the work you know that you do and the worth that you know that you hold in yourself, you know?
Yeah, I think that's a big, and that's something that we brought up plenty of times, especially when you were first starting out with the photo video stuff. And even me with like when I first started the whole painting side gig.
Yeah, I remember when you started that Jack Shack too, and like you were jerking guys off and stuff. That was big.
No, that was all free. I did all for free.
Oh, that's right, you did that for love of dick.
Yeah, it was
pro boner.
it was given back to the community. No, but it's a huge topic for, and especially in today's world, where literally, I would say probably a good majority of people in today's world probably have more than one source of income, even if it's like literally, or so like the podcast, like it's not really necessarily a source of income. Like we have stuff that we have to pay for as far as, monthly stuff like that, but multiple sources of things that take, your time, whether it's a hobby or whatever. And I know for myself, like this transition where I'm going to, I had no clue. Because it's a completely different, it's in the same industry but a different position. And I mean, after I said yes and I went through with it, people that I worked with were kind of telling me, hey, look, like, you got to be careful, and you got to, there's certain things that you got to look out for, and you got to make sure that you go into the conversation with like you said, knowing your worth and understanding like where they're coming from as far as your potential employer, potential customer. And so I think, especially if you're doing stuff like that, where it's freelance and stuff like what I'm doing as far as side gig, a big thing is knowing the industry standard.
Right.
Yeah,
that's a good transition. Let's talk about you changing companies, because even though there are differences in these scenarios, they are very, very similar. So when someone approaches me for a position at the juice bar, they might have no experience. Mm-hmm. And I'd say, okay, well, there's, if you have no experience and you have no value that you're bringing to the table, your worth to me is minimum wage.
Right.
Okay. But if you're going into a position at a company and you have prior experience like you do,
right,
hey, I'm worth this amount of money, this amount per dollar per hour, and you kind of have like cards on the table that you could show. So tell people about the transition, and I'm sure that was nerve-wracking for you to leave one company to start another. How'd the process start? How'd you go through it? And like, how did you talk to your new employer about wage and how much you needed to make?
Yeah, so it was basically I got a call. So someone that used to work at the company I was working at left, and they went to this other company, and he basically just called me and was like, hey, look, there's a position over here. He gave me the rundown as far as benefits, all the details basically. But I mean, basically what it boils down to is, do I feel like my future is going to be better at this other place? Because right now, it's kind of what I'm like looking at is what's going to make the most sense in
long
term.
game.
Yeah, long term, and it's a lot better in terms of long term.
Yeah.
So
I think that's important for people to also realize, is that just because you're in a job somewhere, you might be doing something that you like, but you may not be super passionate about the company or the people that you work for, and that you're not stuck, that if you're in a job and you have a certain skill set, that somebody at a different company might value you more.
Right.
And not just value in respect, but value in dollar amount.
Yeah.
So you're going from one company to the next, and you secured more money?
Yeah.
Great.
And so here's the thing, is that I also turned down more money. So when I came and put my 2 weeks in, they essentially,
they countered?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That is so great.
Yeah. I mean, luckily, man, like in today, it's funny, I was having a conversation with someone actually last night, and he's his own company, so he's coming from a standpoint of an employer, but we were both essentially saying it's crazy how easy it is to be a good employee.
Right.
It's so easy. You
half
show
the battle
up.
is just showing up. Yeah.
Exactly. That's exactly what he said. He's like, so you know what I'm saying? Just showing up, having a good attitude, I'm like, and I'm not like trying to brag, but like at this place, the reason why they countered and were even trying to counter even more when I told them that I wasn't going to do it was because I literally just show up, I have a good attitude, and I'm willing to work. Like those 3 things, you're...
Yeah. So why did you not take the more money at your current spot? Just the growth factor?
For 2 reasons. One big thing is that when in some cases, and I don't want to get too into details, but in some cases when they start throwing out these crazy numbers, it's usually out of desperation. And although I am a good employee, there's certain things that are happening that are not going in the right direction, and that could and just in my eyes that could be a potential reason why they're desperately trying to keep me there. And another reason is just I don't really feel that the future at where I'm at now is going to necessarily be long term. Like I feel like it's going to at some point possibly fizzle out. So at this other place, it's a lot smaller, no corporation involved. It's they got dogs in the place, like you know what I'm saying, like very family oriented, and a lot better benefits. It's what you would expect from a smaller, more family style business. Like they value the employee. So yeah. So when I talked to them and they were like, look, straight up, you got to be careful. You got to make sure, like, more money sounds good, but in this industry, you don't want to get paid more than you're worth. And not that he was saying that I'm not worth that, but he's basically was saying, like, you got to, like, build a foundation. You got to earn it. And that's, I've heard multiple after talking to a bunch of people, I've heard multiple different perspectives of it. And although in some cases I think I'm definitely probably not getting the most, I could have come to the table a little bit differently. That's for sure. But it's a learning process, man. And again, it's going to be hard work. It's going to be a lot more difficult than what I'm doing now. But I mean, to be honest, man, like I'm not really afraid to. I'm not really afraid of change. I'm not afraid to work hard. I'm not afraid to like. I don't know. Some people are just cut out for blue collar type stuff, and honestly, like, although I love the creative aspect, podcast, clothing brand, I love like the creative side of myself, but something about working hard, sweating, it's like nothing else.
Never once did I think that you were cut out. Dude, he's cut out, dude. I don't know that I'm even cut out anymore because I'm basically a desk jockey now, blue collar industry.
I seen them soft hands over there.
Yeah, blue collar industry. I mean, I can get my hands dirty. I like to do a little physical work every now and then.
Yeah. I mean, there's nothing like a hard day's work,
But I respect the game, the motherfucking blue collars, them blues, them hitters.
Nothing like a hard day's work,
That's the dark arts.
That's cool, man. Yeah, like people need to know, like, no matter what the situation is, you're not stuck. Don't be afraid. You're not stuck. Have the confidence and the self-worth that you need, and carry yourself with dignity and respect and all that, and like you're unstoppable. How long we been talking, Jesse?
I like to say only 23 minutes.
Damn, but there was so
Jamaicans
much
say tree instead of 3.
There was so much freaking value jam-packed in that 20 minutes, boys.
I applied for another job.
Yeah, let's talk about that real quick. More change on the table. You did that last couple episodes. We've been chatting about it. Yep. Give us the update.
I was really worried, dude, because it's the same company, but it was a different position in a different department. So I was worried because, number one, I do like my current position. Like, I've got a pretty good gig going right now, and there's a lot more room, for me to move up and grow from here. And the guys that are, my bosses now. The guys are my bosses now. Kind of gave me a lot of chances in the last couple of years, and they've really had some faith in me, and kind of gave myself a lot of confidence to kind of follow through with it. And so I didn't want to mess that up, because if I didn't get it, which I didn't get the job. But
Ooh, I didn't know that.
yeah, I just found it the other day. But so I had to have, I was like, I wanted to do it with some integrity, so I did it, and immediately, called the two people I really needed to tell in my current department, and told them why, because there's a whole long story too. We don't have to get into that, but
We don't have to get into that.
it's I had a couple reasons, not because I wasn't happy where I'm at, just because of what the job was, and I thought it was a good opportunity for me to learn and grow in a different area. But basically, it turned out that they kind of gave me some sort of feeling of my current value where I am now, and how important that is for me to continue doing what I'm doing for a certain period of time, But they took it, all of my fears and thoughts of how they would take it, and it would backfire and kind of ruin my status, with them, was not true at all. They were super cool about it, understood, because I think because they didn't just find out from somebody else. I went to them right away, told them what I was thinking, and it kind of taught me a couple lessons, how important integrity is, and
sure.
honesty and being upfront with people. And, I think they also kind of helped me understand a little bit that it's not necessarily a bad thing at all staying where I'm at. And that, once again, wasn't why I did it. But
They can't be mad at you for trying to grow.
It's not that, but they also probably helped me realize that the path that I'm already on
Is a great
has
one.
has potential to grow a lot more than that one could.
And you may have not have known that if you didn't apply for the other
Right.
position.
And so basically, if I would have gotten the other position, it's a good position, but you're almost kind of, there's not much further you can go in that department than there. You're kind of peaked out. Where I'm at now, according to them, if I continue doing what I'm doing and taking the chances they're giving me and kind of knocking the shit out of the water, I have, according to them, potential to do big things, and I think that's cool, kind of the idea of that in the back of your head, knowing that, one day you could be, I mean, I'm not going to say this, well, I am going to say it, but I don't necessarily believe it, but one day you could be running a major, at least a department of a major corporation, is like, right now, like, I can't picture myself, but it's the same thing as, like, when I was going to be a operations manager. I couldn't picture myself, taking that responsibility. And now it's like I have a bigger responsibility, and I was like, why me? Why does everyone keep picking me for this shit? But the chance and the opportunity has helped me, like, progress my life and the way I think and conduct myself and the decisions I make in and outside of work, and it's a good opportunity, man.
Yeah.
One day I'll have enough money to, like, hire Christian to freaking do my laundry and stuff.
What the hell?
And jerk me. I mean,
what the?
I didn't say that last part,
Well,
but it was cool, man.
You have to pay me a lot of money.
Yeah, I'd pay you, dude. I'd pay you what you're worth.
Okay.
So look, let me ask you this: with your, you have 2 weeks, and then you go to your new thing.
Next Monday.
Next Monday.
Or I'm sorry, not next Monday. 2 Mondays from now.
Are you worried? Are you doubting, your decision at all?
No, that's one thing. So, like I said, I was getting perspective from a bunch of different people. Some were saying I was getting screwed. Some were saying
getting screwed with the money you're going to be getting at the new place.
Just the overall situation. Because technically, what I'm going to be doing as an install tech is in the industry is technically a step back. So most people start out in install. Now,
see, but that can be a tricky line, dude. Because like when I moved to where I'm at now in Cemex, like I kept saying, and a bunch of people kept saying, like, dude, it's a bad deal.
Right.
You know, like, that sounds like a demotion, you
Yeah.
know, and this and that. And it's turned into far from that. You know, it's.
Yeah.
You have to know yourself, you know, and trust your gut. And you know the company you currently are working for. And you know how many people have already left there in the last couple of weeks, and probably more than I or Andrew or anybody knows the reasons why, you know, and you got to trust that shit, dude.
Yeah, and ultimately, I mean, it's a matter of, you know, like what you said about, am I kind of second guessing it? Like, at first when I was hearing these, I mean, this is literally within the last couple of days that I've been, you know, kind of going through this. But what I really didn't like was my kind of going back and forth, because I was talking to different people, you know, people from this other company that I know, you know, that I respect, and then people from here, and obviously both have a certain agenda, and not necessarily like, you know, very like a bad agenda, but it is, you know, there are reasons why they want me on both sides. So the point I'm trying to make is that, you know, now that I made the decision, and like once, because they were going to have a meeting at where I'm at now to, you know, discuss about trying to keep me and do more to try to keep me, you know, but once I made the decision, I didn't even want to wait. You know, I called it off. I told them, look, I don't even want to, you know, see the potential of that. I don't even want to hear like any more numbers. I made my decision. And so now, no matter what, like where I'm at right now, I don't have any fear, and I don't have any second doubts. So, you know, that's one big thing that I, you know, at least from what I've seen and what I follow, like, you know, people that I respect, is, you know, the importance of making decisions and sticking with it. So yeah.
I let the dog in, dude. She's kooking out on me right now. She's freaking kooking out on me. Choke. Go inside, Choke. Dogs are freaking sick of us, boys.
So,
look, now she's
let's
back.
talk about rejection.
I remember that in high school, dude. No, I've had rejection since high school.
Yeah, so let's talk about it real quick. I'm sure it didn't feel good that you didn't get the opportunity, but it helped you in a different parallel realize the path that you're on is the right path. And a lot of times in life, things don't go the way that we want them to. They go the way that they're supposed to. You know, that's been my experience with everything, career stuff, life stuff, relationship stuff. So, Christian, tell me about a time in your life when you got rejected for a job or for something, and how you handled it.
I'm trying to think of a time where I can't really think as far as jobs, because most jobs that I've gone for have been either. Actually, I'm trying to think now. Just about every job that I've gone for every job that I've gone for, I've gotten, and that's not to say that, you know, that I'm like some sort of like special person. I've gone for jobs that are, most of the jobs I've gone for are not.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're
the
going to
top
work
of the
at Jack
tier,
Shacks and,
you know.
No, I'm just kidding.
So
that's pretty crazy.
But as far as rejection, in terms of like the fear of rejection, it's. I mean, to be honest, at least for myself, it's not really like, I don't really fear rejection. I mean, I fear not being like, I don't even want to say not being respected, but I don't know. It's kind of weird, man. I really don't fear rejection, to be honest, like at all.
You've never been rejected? I
mean, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I can't really think of a time where I have been rejected. Most of the time, especially growing up when I was using, I think actually when I was using, I did fear rejection, and that's why I didn't do stuff. So like when I played baseball, I didn't try hard at all. I was a class clown. I was, you know, always cracking jokes. So yeah. So when I was using, I was definitely fearing rejection, but I never. So what I'm trying to say is I never tried to go for things that were like out of my reach until after I got clean. And even then, like my first years of being clean, you know, like 6 years ago, 5 years ago, I was still going for jobs that I knew I would be able to get. Like these, I'm not saying that I was going for these crazy, you know, like jobs that, you know, are out of my range, you know, quote unquote. But But now, yeah. So I think it was more so a fear of rejection before, and that's why I didn't go for anything crazy. But yeah, now but again, that goes back to the whole confidence thing, you know, like we talked about, I think in the last episode, is I'm just so confident, not necessarily in like my abilities, but I'm so confident in so like, let's say I go to this place, it doesn't work out. That's why I don't have any fears, because I have no doubt in my mind, even if I digress and I go to some other place, like I can find work no matter what, because there's so many jobs out there, and I'm not afraid to work hard. I'm not afraid to, you know, to start over somewhere else. So that's what I'm saying. Like where I'm at now, I'm just like, I have so much faith in the process. I'm just like, just because like Drew said, you know, I have evidence, you know, I've seen stuff not work out, and then, you know, months later, something better came from it. So, yeah.
Touche.
I've been rejected so many fucking times, boys. So, as a convicted felon, it's hard to get employment at big corporate companies, right? So, transitioning from New Jersey to Florida, you know, working in the pizzeria, I wanted to get a job with AT&T. I'll never forget this, right? I wanted this job so bad. I don't even know why I wanted it. It's because someone else had it, you know? And to get the job with AT&T, this is what I had to do, right? I had to fill out an application, very lengthy one, right? I was very honest on the application.
Applications piss me off, dude.
Dude, it's the friggin' worst, boys. So I filled out the whole application, right? Not only did I go for one interview, but 2 interviews, okay? Not only did I do 2 interviews, I did a physical and a physical fitness test, okay?
Yeah, they do that now.
Not only did I do that, I got blood work and urine work done, okay? That I had to pay for. Not only did I did that, but then after I did all that, they were like, yeah, you know, your background check came back. I was like, yeah, well, I was honest about, you know, the felony on the application when I first filled it out and mind you, this whole process, 2 months. 2 months trying to get this job. And then at the end of it, they say, yeah,
during
we can't.
that time, you're probably not really looking too hard for anything else, because you're like, it's in the works, dude. It's going to happen.
Yeah, like if they let me this far, I got it.
Yeah.
You know? So, and then like it was like the biggest slap. I was like, yo, I can't get this job. And then, you know, I was like, I'll never be able to get a job.
That's what we call a slow reveal in the business.
In the biz?
You build them up, build hopes,
break them down.
build dreams, and then you slowly just draw back the curtains, and there's a big wall that says no.
Big one that says get beeped. Get beeped. So yeah, didn't feel good. And at that point in time, my mindset was, man, I'm never going to be able to get a job, right? That wasn't the right mindset to have. The mindset to have was, I need to find the job who's going to be forgiving for my circumstance and understand that I'm a human being that made a mistake, you know, 10 years ago. And I just had to find the person who was willing to give me the shot, you know?
Yeah.
So if anybody's out there who's listening who has a background, you know, don't let that, you know, your past doesn't have to reflect your future, and you don't have to live with that scar on you. And I in the state that I got convicted in, it's an expungement is not possible. So like that's there forever, you know. And I was a faithful employee to multiple companies after that, with benefits, with good pay, in a corporate structure. And you know, go fast forward to today, you know, I was able to, you know, buy a house. I was able to start a company. I was able to build a life without having that scar weigh down my decisions. Yeah, it was all mindset. I could have said, oh, you know what, fuck it, I'm just gonna have to make pizza for the rest of my life, you know.
Yeah.
But I was like, there's more out there for me.
It's always a way to overcome, dude.
What about you, Jess?
I've definitely been rejected quite a bit, you know. I'm trying to think of a big example. But yeah, I mean, I've been rejected from jobs, plenty of jobs. I've been, you know, even to the point where a job that, you know, well, even like in relationships with work and family, you know, when I was in addiction and getting to a point where nobody has much faith in you anymore, you know, just that's another form of rejection too, where, you know, you kind of it's easy to look around and say, oh, you know, my family is always going to feel this way about me, or my nobody wants to be around me. My job doesn't even want me anymore because they know that I'm a fuck up and this and that. And you can, like he said, you can kind of play into that idea in your head, and you're just going to keep doing things that promote that fucking sick idea. You know, but if you kind of say, you know, I'm not going to allow this shit to happen to me. I'm not going to allow myself to fucking feel like this and have everybody look at me like this. You know, you can turn it around. And I mean, my life's turned around a lot since the last 3 years or whatever. And all that has been rebuilt or fucking restored, you know, because I don't want to do that anymore. I want to be someone you can trust. I want to be someone you can fucking count on. I want to be someone you look at and you go, holy shit, dude, he's a freaking pillar of hope.
Look at his friggin' beard.
That's why they call me. My beard actually needs to be cut, right?
No, looks good.
Dude, earlier I was bent over, like petting the dog, and Helena, I seen her out of the corner of my eyes coming up behind me. I hope she's not listening to this. I seen her up, and she came, and I seen she was going to smack my butt, and right as her butt contacted my asshole, I farted on her hand. I mean, right as her hand contacted my asshole, I farted on her hand, and she's like, you did it on purpose. I was like, no, you scared me, and I clenched my asshole, and it let one out.
What? How did we get here?
I don't know, dude.
Hey, Christian, drop that Nimbus cloud. All right, so in closing, guys, beats brought to you by AC Delgado. Check them out at aguilacreative.com. You're unstoppable, family. Don't let somebody or an organization or anybody tell you that you can't do something.
Don't let them keep you down.
If you want something bad enough, you will get it. You will find a way. Subscribe to the podcast, leave a comment, leave a rating. Maybe go to the website and buy a hat or a t-shirt for your girl. But not yet, because we got new merch dropping soon.
Don't fart on Helena's hand. She don't like
Check out the everydayhustleshow.com. Join that mailing list. And let's go, baby. We'll see you next week.
Don't die.